Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to make everything right with the Harley Benton Fusion THH. I made a video showing how it came from the factory and there's some flaws in it. And we're going to take care of those flaws. So here she is. One thing I did want to mention before we got started, if you watch the video, the unboxing, the quality from the get-go video, this actually is threaded. And if I could focus on it, I could prove that. It's threaded. Look at that. I did not know that. That's wild. It's a lot better. The arm is a lot nicer now that I tried it. I threaded it down in there. It's, man, this is a nice trim. But anyway, here's what we're going to deal with today. Fret ends a little bit gnarly. I'm at the very least, I'm going to buff these frets. I do want to buff them. They can be polished way more. There's some with the rocker that are a little bit high, but not much. I mean, the action's 32 thousandths at the 12th fret, and it doesn't buzz out bending. I even broke the E string testing that theory. So I probably don't even have to worry about this. It's not like the Venturas I work on or the Players, which if I don't do it, it won't play good. I have one buddy, he's got a Player Plus, $1,200, and he brought it over for a setup, but he didn't want to pay for the, addressing the frets. I couldn't make it, I could not make the action low because it had a couple of frets that were obnoxiously tall. This isn't the case. These are really mild. The average person would never worry about this or even deal with it. So anyway, a little bit of buffing on the back I want to do that the factory missed. And I want to get this cleaner in here. That's buffing compound. It was on the nut and it was tough to get off. So I'd like to take care of that. Obviously going to cut the nut. So instead of yakking, let's get to it. Gumby. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to remove the neck. I'm going to do all my work on the neck while it's off. And that'll allow me to clean in there too. Okay, before I get the neck off, I'm going to make sure it's straight. Going on here? This needs to be filed down. There's a couple holes. It's a little bit stiff. Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. Yeah, it's a little stiff going in there. I'll fix that. Okay, it's going to back off a little bit more. Right about there. Okay, that is pretty straight. As straight as we're going to get it. Okay, now I'll pop the neck off. All right, that was a long mask job, but it's always worth it to do a good masking job. First thing I'm going to do is underneath these frets, you can feel them. So I'm going to use my little file. I've kind of taped myself in here though. There's not a lot of room for my file to hit, unless I use the edge of this file. And I can use the edge of this file too, like so. That's all it takes. That's all they had to do. And I'm going to do this part too. See if I can. I'm going to do this edge. When you feel like that, you can feel the fret. And the edge too of the fret. Right there. The sides. So this is pretty boring stuff. I'll do a couple so you can see how I'm doing it. I'm going to use this. I have to get in a little closer. Yeah, I can see it's already done. They really gouged up the fretboard. I just can't believe it. All right, I'm just going to roll through all of those. These stainless frets are tough. They take a while. Okay, so now I've got all these ends. Now I'm going to go with the sides of the fret. I'm going to try to tame them down a little bit. Then I'm going to probably want to go over this with some fine sandpaper. Fun. All right, we got all that done. Man, it took a long time. Hope it didn't wear my file out too much. Definitely harder to work. All right, now I'm going to go look at all the high frets, and I'll probably do something with them because I want to buff this anyway, so I'm going to chart them all out. And we'll see just how high they are. I mean, the action goes really low, so this isn't necessary. This is something I want to do. I mean, probably somebody at a shop wouldn't try to do this because they're not that high. We'll do a couple together. So I got my list. I just put it up there. So I'll grab this guy and a marker. I think I'm going to end up using my blue marker. Probably red. My black marker is a little shot. And what I do is, oh, is that it? It's not much. Yeah, they're not much. And they're only in little narrow spots, so let me put this on the tripod and I'll go through a couple. Then I'll just do the rest of them high speed so I don't put my audience to sleep. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, it's moving here. I don't know if you can hear it. But it's only right around here. That's it. Okay. It's another one. Yeah, this one's pretty high. And it stops right around here. So I mark where exactly they are. So now we've got one here. This is barely nothing. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of them. Well, they are all pretty mild. I'm going to probably go over a couple down here, the ones down here, and just see how hard it is. I've only done this with stainless frets one other time. I'm not dealt with, and it did take a little bit longer because they're harder. But I really wanted to buff these out like way better anyway. So I'm just going to work a couple of these high spots and see what happens. All right, here we go. This one's pretty high, right at the edge. Yeah, it's going to take some time. I don't want to go lower than 600. I'd rather take a little bit more time. The finer you start with, it may be a little more work, but it'll be easier to move on from there. These stainless frets, they definitely present a lot more issues with production. I mean, like in a factory. To me, it's like in a perfect world, if all the frets were pushed in to the exact same depth, which is all the way, wouldn't you really not need to do any of this? But, you know, that never really happens. Although I remember reading this guy who was a guitar builder. He got his own little guitar company. And he says that they're put in so good, they probably don't even need to dress them. I probably don't even need to do this. It's just like going beyond. Yeah, this could take a while. It's getting there. Okay. Yeah, it's getting close. Ideally, any neck should have some relief. So the neck's nice and straight, and then there's some fall away. It kind of goes like this. That's always good. I remember I bought a Seagull acoustic around 2001, and the place that I bought it, they had a bunch of Seagulls, and every one of those acoustics had some relief. It was all the exact same. Every one looked exactly the same. You could tell these things, I mean, somebody was taking pride in fretting them and doing all this. Frets are the most important thing on the whole guitar, and it's the thing that's just rushed on so many guitars. Oh, these with 600, they take a long time. Almost gone. Sure taking a while though. Take the long way home. Yeah, we probably burned up a lot of time here. But I mean, this really shows you what I'm doing here, so I don't mind. Almost gone. But with regular frets, you wouldn't take nearly, I would have been 3 frets in by now. That's good. I'm going to work on this. We'll do this high speed. All right, I've got all these frets leveled. Probably unnecessary, but I'm crazy like that. Once from here up, it didn't take that long at all. So I did go over the ends here with 600. So now I'm going to go 8,000, 15, 2, 25, 3. I'm going to go as high as I have. And then I'm going to polish these, and they are going to be like smooth and, smooth and beautiful. Well, my hand's about to fall off. So next, I mean, anyone would leave it like that, but now what I'm going to do is get my Dremel, and I'm going to polish all these frets. I am going to use the Dremel. I'm not going to do it by hand. I usually do it by hand, but I want to do it a little extra. Let's take this tape off, see what we're looking at here. That's the reason I put the tape on here, so it's easier to pull it all off in one big piece. Just got to take your time taking it off. And if you're polishing with a Dremel like I just did, and you have a maple fretboard, you got to be careful because sometimes it will damage the finish. You don't want to stay in one spot too long. There we go. Oh, that feels very nice. Very nice. Wow. Those things look like a mirror, don't they? All right, so while I've got this off, what's this crap? While I've got this off, I'm going to clean the rest of this buffing compound off of here. All right, so frets are looking splendid. I'm going to lemon oil this fretboard. And every single one of these nuts is loose. So I'm going to take care of that. Then I can buff the body, the back part that needs to be buffed. Then I will mate them together and start putting this baby together. That's good broth. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to use some mirror glaze to buff out what they kind of missed at the factory here. That looks better. Got rid of some of that haze and some scratches there. All right, I got the neck back on and look at those beautiful frets. Oh, they are beautiful if they were in focus. All right, I'm going to put some 9 to 42s on and we're going to string it up, then we'll get this thing set up and see what it can do. Okay, I've got the strings on and I took one spring out of the back. So I'm just adjusting these 2 screws so when the guitar's in pitch, the trem will lay flat. So that's kind of a tedious thing. You just have to keep going back and forth. All these things are loose right now for now. All right, we have the intonation set, which it was pretty much spot on. Every one of these saddles is all the way down. The bridge is all the way down. And here's our action. But I haven't cut the nut yet. So here, I'll put a capo across the first fret so you can see a little better. So that's, the action will be a little fraction higher than this. But it's like I can't go any lower. I don't want to shim the neck, but maybe it could go lower. I don't know. I'm going to cut the nut and then we'll see what the action is. But I find that odd that the bridge is all the way down. It's all the way down. I mean, you could still use it. It's kind of going against the body like I usually set it up. But you can't lower the strings anymore. although they are pretty low. So we'll do the nasty. We'll cut the nut and see what's going on then. These strings are really nice to bend on. Oh my Lord, I'm glad I went through all that trouble to really super polish them, because it really makes a difference. You really feel it when you're bending. Okay, and now one of the last things, I'm going to cut the nut. So we'll get these down to where I like them, which just happens to be 11 thousandths of an inch. There it is. That much space between the first fret and the string. So this is kind of a tedious job, and if you go too fast, then you blow it. So I don't want to do that. So here we go. So this is looking through my magnifier. Okay, now I have a little bit of grease with a whole bunch of graphite mixed together, and I'm going to stick those in the slots. All right, now one of the last things, I do need to adjust these pickups a little bit. I like the pickups with like the Filtertrons I have. There's 2 screws and then 1, so you could do the angle of the pickup. With these, they're just like flopping all around. Yeah, that makes so much more sense. It has 9s, and I think 8.5 is what I'm going to put on here. I like 8.5 with a 25-inch scale. I've always liked lighter strings. Well, that is... Oh, I just saw something. There's a little... Here, you gotta check this out. A little bit of green paint right there. What's up with that? Here's how the setup looks. You can see that bridge and those saddles are all the way down. They're all the way down. This neck is so close to being straight, it's crazy. Here's what the specs are, the way it's set up right now. It's logical. So she is all set up and it plays really good. I don't think 9 to 42s. I think I'm going to go 8.5 to 40s. My preference. That's what's on this this Squire too. So it's done. It plays awesome. The frets are so smooth. I'm glad I took that extra time to really polish them. It's really nice. Oh, you know what? There's one more thing I forgot to do. Got to do something. Okay. Okay, number 197. Harley Benton Fusion. Having trouble writing at this angle. Fusion T. Guitar number 197. Man, if I played as good as how many guitars I had, I'd be a regular who knows who. So that is it for the video of setting up this Fusion T. I would love it if you subscribed, if you got something out of this. That would be great. A thumbs up would be awesome too. And I will probably see you next time. Boy, these frets are so nice. Ciao.